And if you want to permanently remove your negative items, you're going to want to stick around until the end, because of course the most important stuff is going to be at the end. Now, because I'm giving you this information for free, and because you can't find it anywhere else, make sure to smash that like, subscribe if you haven't done so, and if you want to see if I can do a credit sweep for you, remove your negative items, increase your score, and get you where you need to be to financial freedom and break free from those chains of bad credit, then use the link that you see somewhere around here to schedule that call with me to see if I can do that credit sweep for you at my740.com. Now, we are answering your questions that have been submitted on my 1200 videos going back 9 years, but we're answering the stuff that's been submitted kind of recently by many people asking the same things, and we're going to jump right into this. But you're also going to know that down in the description, you are going to find a ton of resources, including how to write the perfect dispute letter every single time, as well as the credit sweep secrets guide that I put out yesterday that you can use to check out different violations on your credit report, how to dispute specific negative items like third-party collections, debt buyer collections, late payments, student loans, so on and so forth, as well as how to write a dispute letter and the Agero formula. Now, let's get to your questions. Kristen, what do I do if I send a dispute and the bureaus do not respond? The first thing that you're going to want to understand is that they have no incentive to remove your negative items from your credit report. Kristen, but they have certain laws and regulations that need to abide by and blah, 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 the violation of this, that, and the third. No. Understand that the bureaus have zero incentive to remove your negative information because they get paid to obtain, maintain, and sell your information. They want to keep you subprime, just like the banks do. You see, the banks make more money from subprime market, right? See, they can charge higher APRs, which means more money for them, right? With the bureaus, it means that when the potential lenders buy this information from the credit bureaus with the subprime market, they're going to pay a pretty penny for it. That's how this works. So if they remove this information and increase your credit score, they're going to get paid less by these potential lenders, and they're also going to get paid less to report it because you got it removed. That's how this works. Their job is to keep you in that subprime market, and our job is to permanently remove these negative items from your credit report. Now, as far as violations and all of that, yes, there are violations. So the violation is nothing if you don't do something to enforce it, okay? It's not just automatically going to come off. This is not 15 years ago where all you had to say was, hey, you didn't respond. Oh, boom, let's remove this from your credit report. No. You have to go above and beyond and fight tooth and nail. That is why they are called dispute rounds. Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6, round 7. So on and so forth. It's like a boxing match, right? There's going to be a winner for every single round, and there's going to be a winner at the end of the match. And at the end of the match, we are going to be the winners when we do this the right way, okay? That is why it's so important about the method that we're going to be talking about towards the end. That's why it's so important to understand what you should not be doing, which is what we're going to be talking about at the end. So, what do you do when they don't respond? Well, you already have exactly what you need, and it is your credit report. It is the information reported on your credit report. That is literally the only thing that you could ever need. So when you send out a dispute, right? Round 1, no response. Hey, guess what? Go to your credit report. Find the new information for these things. If you used, date lost reported for round 1 or balance on round 1. Now you're going to go and you're going to dispute their failure to enter the notice of dispute. If you did notice of dispute, your next round is going to be first date of delinquency. If that was, if you use first date of delinquency, now you're going to go to payment history, okay? So you already have access to everything that you need. You can see whether they did an investigation by looking at the date last reported and the notice of dispute. So it doesn't matter what they do, it's about what we do. And what we do is we don't get frustrated. We don't get stressed out. We use the facts on the credit report and we go and get our deletions, okay? That is what we do. The bureaus want you to get frustrated. They want you to give up. They want you to cancel with your credit repair company. They want you to stay in the 500s. That's their sweet spot, 500s, 600s. We're not going to do that. No. We're not going to give in to what do we do when it comes back verified as accurate? I already went over that. What we're going to do is we're going to find the next best dispute reason based on the hierarchy, and we're going to get our results, right? So we have a hierarchy of negative items. We split it up into 3 different parts. Here at the top, we have things like date last paid, date last active, notice of dispute, date last reported. In the middle, we have things like high balance, past due, balance, so on and so forth, and your violations also go here at the top. At the bottom, we have things that we don't want to use. Terms, type, status. Now, all those things are just totally worthless. They are last resort disputes, and you just don't want to use them, okay? So, these are going to be rounds 1 through 4, 5 through 8 in the middle, 9 through 12 on the bottom, okay? And you do not just say, delete this for inaccuracy because the date last reported is wrong. No, you need to support this with your facts. Not only do you need to support this with your facts, but you need to prove that it's actually reported that way. How do we do this? Exhibits. You're going to take a screenshot of your account and you're going to include that at the bottom of your letter. Here's the letter. Blah, 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 blah. Screenshot, 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 screenshot. Identification, identification. This is your entire letter. That is what you are sending to the credit bureaus, okay? You have to include your ID and your proof of address and your social if you are disputing social on your credit report. What do you do as far as disputing with, like, how do I know who to dispute with first? Well, that depends on what you are disputing. If you're disputing third-party collections, you're disputing with the collector first because we want them to not put that notice of dispute pursuant to FDCPA 8078. And they are less likely to enter this notice of dispute than the bureaus. So for your third-party collections, you send it out. About 14 days to 30 days later, now you're sending out round 1 to the credit bureaus. Now, you can dispute your other accounts at the same time as that first letter going out, like your charge-offs and your late payments and your inquiries and all of that, okay? So you just need to understand that everything is based on what you are disputing. But the number one thing as far as what you should do first and with what you should do first and how to get the fastest results, it's to dispute your personal information and get it removed. And how long should go in between your personal info dispute and your first account dispute? It is 7 to 10 days, all right? You have to give it time. Now, who do you dispute with as far as the validation of debt? Validation of debt is only going out to those third-party collectors. It is not going out to Portfolio or Midland or Cavalry or any of those, okay? It's only going out to these companies that are A, outside the statute of limitations, or B, have a lower limit and they're within the balance, and they're within the statute of limitations, or they're third-party, medical, collections that are like for the gym, National Grid, your power, your cell phone. Those are the ones, except for Verizon. They do in-house charge-off, or they sell it out to Jefferson, who is a debt buyer. But those are the things that you're going to dispute using the validation of debt. And I will also post that down in the description, all right? Now, why don't you want to dispute with Portfolio Recovery and Midland and all of that? If it is within the statute of limitations, you are putting a green light above your head that says, hey, I'm trying to fix my credit. I probably have money now. Come sue me, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want them looking at you more than they absolutely have to. They will take you to court and they will garnish you and all that kind of stuff. I don't want that to happen to you. You are getting nothing other than false information that is just spilling out and spewing into your ears, and I'm here to stop that right now. You can literally erase everything that you've ever learned prior to coming to me, because all of that is nothing other than to get in your pocket. You see, that brings me to the next thing. Disputing with or making a complaint with the CFPB. When do you go to the CFPB? You go to the CFPB at the end of this, after you've exhausted all your remedies. It is not on round 1. It is not prior to the bureaus. It's not any of those things. If you're doing that, you're not going to get your negative items removed. They're going to literally stamp your file as frivolous, and guess what? That's not helping anybody, okay? So if you want to permanently remove your negative items, and you do need to make complaints with the CFPB, the AG, the FTC, the BBB, you need to first exhaust your remedies. What does that mean? If you go look up the definition, the administrative definition of exhaustion of remedies, you're going to see that it says that you need to deal with the original parties and organizations such as the bureaus, creditors, and collectors prior to going and getting outside help, such as the CFPB. Okay, so keep that in mind, because if you do this and you do it wrong, those things are not going to come off, and you're going to be coming back 5 years later saying, damn, I wish I had listened to Kristen. Because it happens all the time. I have people who I initially spoke with in 2017 who are just signing up now. Why? Because they thought that there's all these different loopholes and blah blah blah, and guess what? Doesn't work like that. There are no loopholes. There's just keys for us to learn. And when you're going around getting all these shortcuts, you end up back in the same position, except for this time you boxed yourself in, right? I don't want you to box yourself in. I want you to free yourself. And the way you free yourself is by disputing the right way, which brings me to the next one. What is the best method? The best method is using the facts from the credit report. Now, if you go down in the description, you're going to find this. You can get the hard copy or the digital version of this, accessible immediately, but this is going to allow you to write the perfect dispute letter every single time, a checklist that you should be going over. Did you include and exclude everything you were supposed to? How to write your first paragraph, the specific questions that you're supposed to be answering, how to write the dispute reason, taking the facts from the credit report to dispute literally any account that you could possibly have, including late payments and inquiries and personal information, okay? All you do is you plug the information from your credit report directly into this formula. And this is the formula that I personally use to remove over 50,000 negative items from client credit reports. So men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. So anybody can say whatever the heck they want to about me, but guess what? I have the numbers to prove that I know exactly what I'm talking about, all right? All you have to do is follow my lead and understand that, yes, this is going to take some time, but when you invest this time into yourself, you're going to get where you need to be. But you are going to get rewarded when you do this the right way and you follow your due process to dispute inaccurate information on your credit report. Yes. So are you just trying to put 30 days into fixing the one thing that determines where you live, where you work, how much money you make, how much, food is in your, pantry and your refrigerator, and where your kids go to school and what your house looks like, and whether you live in mom and dad's basement or whether you have a mansion? It determines literally everything. So obviously it's not going to be that simple. If it were, there wouldn't be 48 to 68 million people. At 68 million people, if I had the answer to that, I wouldn't be telling you, hey, this is difficult, you got to do it this way. No, I would slap a price tag on it. I'm a business owner, right? This is what I do. I'm in business to, number one, help people, number two, make money. So if there were a fast way, I would be capitalizing on it, okay? I wouldn't have spent 12 years trying to, explain to people, and then 9 years right here on YouTube breaking down, hey, this is going to take you time, but when you blah, blah, blah. No, man. 30 days, 15,000, pay me on the back end after you get your $25,000 credit card or that house that you want, and hey, everything's going to be Gucci. Don't you think that I would just do that? Just from a business standpoint, just from a business perspective. If you can't answer that, then obviously, hey, this whole thing is just not meant for you. You're on the wrong live stream, okay? So if there were a way to give you what you want, I'd give it to you, and you would be paying for it, all right? But those things don't exist. There are no 14-day processes, 30-day processes, all that kind of stuff. And you know what? There is a faster way to do things, but we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands that you got to pay for, this collaboration with an FCRA attorney and an FDCPA attorney and all these different things that you actually have to do. So outside of that, and outside of you hiring an attorney, then hey, this is the next best thing. Using the irrefutable facts off your credit report to dispute your inaccurate information to get it removed, all right? That is the way that you get the fastest results. That is the way that you get permanent results. And that is the thing that you need to be doing starting today. So that brings me to the next one. What if you previously did templates? Well, you need to pretend like you never did templates, put that to the side, erase everything that you've already learned, and start breaking down your credit report. Look line by line by line and look for all those inaccuracies, right? You're looking for, and this is actually on the cheat sheet, so you're gonna wanna go check that out, but you're looking for things like activity after the account was closed and monthly payments on closed accounts and 3 different balances, 3 different past dues, 3 different dates last paid, 3 different days last active, first day of delinquency to be inaccurate, the bureau is reporting different payment history. Those are the things that I personally use in addition to violations to remove negative items. Late payments. When you're disputing late payments for student loans, you have the ability to either correct the account or remove the account, right? And if you cannot find inaccuracies, it is not ethical for you to dispute it just because you do not want your debt to income ratio to be the ratio that it is, okay? You have to remember that even though we're dealing with consumer law, you're still dealing with law, and it does turn into a criminal, ordeal if you start committing fraud, which also brings me to identity theft. If you are not a victim of identity theft, you should not be utilizing the identity theft method. If you go in and you submit a police report, you are literally committing fraud, and people have literally gone to jail for 6 months. So my recommendation is stay away from that. And even if you are a victim of fraud, there's millions of people who jacked it up for you, and you know what? Factual disputes is going to be your best method, because you will be able to remove your negative items, but it's not going to take 4 business days. No, honey, it's going to take you years. And instead, you could have just permanently removed your negative items in about 6 months, okay? So with late payments with student loans, what you're going to do is you're going to determine A, if you want to remove the account, or B, if you want to correct the account. And the number one way that you're going to correct the account, meaning remove the late payments, is if you see on time, 90. You can't be on time, and then 90 days late. Obviously, that means the 2 prior on-time payments are actually inaccurate, and you can use that to remove this late payment. Now, if it says 90 and then 120, shit out of luck, you're going to have to remove the entire account. How do you remove the entire account? Instead of saying, I was not late on, blah, 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 or, these late payments are inaccurate because this is on time, 90, 120, you're just going to say, delete this account for inaccuracy because the late payment history reflects inaccurately that I was 90 days late on this date without prior 30 or 60-day late payments. And then that's it. Delete the account. All right. If you want to learn more about student loans, I will also post a link to my student loan mini course. I think it's only like $10 down in the description. All right. So what is the fastest way to permanently remove your negative items? It is using irrefutable facts. What's the fastest way to increase your credit score? It is to lower your utilization, remove your personal information, and then dispute and remove your negative information, add positive lines, and then you want to make sure you flesh out your credit. You want to have a ton of different credit. So all 5 types. You want to have auto, you want to have mortgage, you want to have installment, you want to have secured and unsecured revolving, you want to have you want to have merchandise cards, like, store cards and all that kind of stuff. When you get to that point, now banks are going to want to mess with you. Don't let that go over your head, all right? So that is how you get the highest credit score the fastest. That is literally the recipe to get there. There is no overnight process, though. If you're not going to do this the right way, just don't do it at all. That is my recommendation, okay? So can you go from living in mom and dad's basement to getting your own house? Yes. Can you go from driving a $300 hoopty that has a hole in the floor where you have to stick your legs through it and do the Flintstone thing to move the car to getting, a $10,000, financed vehicle? Yes. Is there a way to go from the 400s to the 700s? Yes, I did it personally myself with my own credit. Is there a way to remove bankruptcies? Yes. Evictions? Yes. Foreclosures? Yes. Third-party collections? Yes. Debt buyer collections? Yes. Late payments? Yes. Inquiries? Yes. Judgments, tax liens? Yes. But if you're not going to do it the right way, don't start sending out disputes. You're going to get banned from disputing, or they're just not going to come off. And I do not want that to happen to you. So if you want to learn more about how to dispute the right way and how to deal with, verified as, I have a whole workshop on how to deal with verified as accurate from the credit bureaus. Everything is going to be down in the description, as well as, again, the link to see if I can personally do a credit sweep for you at my740.com. But that is it for today. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you, and please be safe. I'll see you guys later.